Hi everybody, it's Christina. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday. I had to think about that to figure out what day it was. But one of the things I've been thinking about a lot lately is when you're parentified, you don't have the ability to really enjoy your childhood because I feel like you're not really a child. You're given these roles that are outside of your responsibility and really outside your capacity and what you should be doing at that age, right? And I feel like for me, I don't think about it as much as I should, but it is a piece of you that you do need to grieve. And it might show itself in different ways, but I think it's so important to highlight it and give it a voice and give it space. Because if you think about it, if you were parentified as I was, you didn't really have a whole childhood like you had. And for me, like I had segments because when I was super young, like I remember that, but that's it. Like as far as when it came to play, when it came to being silly and being a kid and just laughing and doing whatever I wanted and having fun, like I have that up until a certain age, and then I don't really have very many memories of that, which is really unfortunate. And I think for me, thinking about it, and this is where my defense mechanism kicks in, where I just shove it down and shove it down and shove it down and think, okay, if I don't focus on it, I won't get sad, and then I won't really have to think about it, right? So, and I've done that for years and years, and there was, so long before I started therapy and started the healing and all of that, where yeah, I just said anything that was uncomfortable, I would push it down and push it down and just not think about it because I don't want to go there, right? That was a big part of it. And one of my most recent therapists was very valuable because she would say, okay, let's look inside. And that was one of the hardest things to do because for me, I'm such an analytical person. I'm such a brain person. I think, I don't feel. So having those moments where she would tell me, let's go inside and really see what's coming up and see what's in there. It was really hard for me. And it took me so many different therapy sessions to get to the point where I could feel comfortable going inside. And now as a 40-year-old, I meditate as much as I can because that's a good opportunity to go inside and to not hopefully try to stop that mind that is just going and going and going, and allowing yourself to feel these things. It's get comfortable. And this is something I learned. I used to be a mentor, which I really, really enjoyed. I will get back into it at some point, but this is before I started dating my boyfriend now, and he has kids. So I feel like I have a little bit of that mentorship, kind of, I'm satisfying that itch, I guess, with these kids because I can kind of mentor them and help them. But I was a mentor for a little while, and so we would do workshops and things of that nature. And it was really great because they were teaching the kids, you need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Sometimes it sucks and you don't want to deal with it and it hurts and it's easier to walk away. For me, I throw myself into work. Like work is like if I can work and I can work on this deadline, I don't have to think about all of these other things. I don't have to process what I'm feeling inside. It's all analytical. I have to get this done and get this done and get this done, right? So that's my defense mechanism. That's where I go. But again, as I've gotten older, getting to the space where I'm healing and thinking about these things, it is so important that I give that a voice, and you give your inner child a voice to say, I'm sorry that you were not respected more. I'm sorry that you were not given the opportunity to be a child, because you will never get that back. And that's sad as hell. Like that is so sad. And I have that dialogue, and I think it's important to have conversations like you were talking to your inner child to say, I'm sorry that nobody showed up for you. And I'm sorry that it was so hard for you to just be. I'm sorry that you had to perform. I'm sorry that you had to take all of this heavy weight on your shoulders. And I'm sorry that you felt like you couldn't ask for help. And I think that getting that out of you as an adult and processing those feelings and thinking about it, you need to do that because it really does help. And it helps that dialogue. And for me, I feel like I have an open line of communication to my inner child. Like that's what it feels like. So anytime I think about something, anytime that and it's okay for me to sit with it. Like I think that's another thing that I'm learning. Like it's okay to sit with it. It doesn't feel good all the time. And I get emotional because it's sad, and It hurts, but I think it is important to actually grieve that piece, because there was something lost, right? You lost the ability to play with friends. I lost the ability to sit down and say, what do I want to do right now? I didn't have that because I had all of these responsibilities. I had siblings that I was responsible for. I was doing all these other things. I was, making sure that mom was okay. I was the emotional, support system there. And that was all a role that I should not have had. But I think ultimately, and I think in the back of my mind, I always thought, well, this is status quo, right? It is what it is. This is what I'm doing. And honestly, up until a certain point, I never even thought anything of it. And it's probably because, again, I shoved everything down so low, right, that I just didn't even think about it or process what it was and what I was feeling. But it's a journey, right? You're going to have to eventually process those feelings. Hey, this is my pudding. She's a little crazy. If you have a Yorkie, let me know if yours is crazy too, because she's a little nutty. She's a little nutty. She actually bullies a pit bull, so 10 pounds bullies 70 pounds, 75 pounds. So it's so important that you acknowledge that that is a piece that you need to grieve, and just think about it. Like, maybe you have an exercise where you write a letter. That's something that has been really valuable to me, where you say, dear child, or dear me, I'm Christy, right? I call myself Christy when I was little, and my close family calls me that as well. So I would say, dear Christy, I have so much to tell you. I have so many things that I want to let you know now that I'm an adult, and that I hope you're proud of me. And it's a really beautiful experience, and I recommend that everybody does it, because that was one of the pieces that really opened me up and kind of got me in that emotional state to where I was really feeling everything, and I was really talking like I was talking to her. And there was this like challenge, not a challenge, but one of those like trending things on TikTok where you would go to Gemini and put a picture of you as a kid, put a picture of you as an adult, and it showed you as a picture together, like your adult self is holding your child self. And I have that on my phone, and I love it. And that was something that I was looking at when I was writing this letter, and it was super helpful. So I recommend just do that. I know, again, it's hard, it's uncomfortable, and healing is hard. It's hard. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no way around it, right? They say the only way, you have to go through it. You have to go through it. But you know what? You come out on the other side so much better, and you learn so much about yourself. And I feel like you're just so much more complete because you dealt with this. Because if you don't deal with that, it's going to be there forever, and it's going to come up in many different ways, so many different ways. Like, you wonder why you're a people pleaser. You wonder why you can't relax, right? Like, all of these things have to do with not being able to be a kid. I didn't have joy. I didn't have rest, right? I was always running 100 miles an hour, doing what I could, being proactive, trying to and of course that anxious mind came in, right? To say what can I do ahead of time so that I can prevent this, this, and this, and get everything ready. And, and that all spills into the rest of your life. Like, let's be honest, anything that happens when you're that young and you're developing, and that all impacts you later. So again, here in my 40s, 43 at this point, still trying to figure it out, right? Trying to get to a place where I feel good in my body, I feel good in myself, I feel good in my mind, my spirit, all of the things. So we're working on it. But I think it's super important that you acknowledge that grief, because that will be with you forever if you don't sit and have that honest conversation with your inner child. And it's not your fault. It's not like you have to apologize. I'm sorry that, because I wish you would have had more of this. I wish that they would have been there for you for that. I wish you didn't have to carry all of this, because it wasn't our fault, right? We were there. We were the kid. So it wasn't our fault. We don't have to apologize to them, but we can offer them compassion. I wish you had that, because you deserve it. And that's such an important dialogue for your little to hear from your big. Right. So yes, it's totally worth it. You have to do it. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's one of the best things that I've learned throughout this whole process of mentoring and everything else. So one more thing that's super important is that it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be hyper aware. It's okay to be, I'm an empath. I feel everything, and it sucks sometimes, let me tell you, because I am always, anytime I see something on the news, anytime I am listening to a story or something, that's why I don't watch those like, what do you call them? The murder, like, podcasts and all of that. Like, true crime, I can't do that. Like, I cannot do that because I'm just, the few times that I have seen those or watched something, I'm just like, I'm a mess. So no, I can't, I can't do those. But yeah, I feel like for me, it's just, you know, I feel everything, and I feel everything so much. So I think that as I'm getting older too, I'm shying away from that a lot less. Like, I'm running towards the feelings instead of running away, which is what I've done my whole life. And becoming a workaholic because that's where I felt comfortable, right? And that's what felt safe. So I think that I'm finding safety in being vulnerable, finding safety. And I think that's key. I think that has a lot to do with the people that are around you too, because I've been in relationships where I haven't had that safety to feel vulnerable. So again, I have this like Kevlar vest on and this wall built because I just don't feel like I can be soft. I don't feel like I can unload things because I don't trust you, right? So I've been in those relationships, but I feel like where I'm at now, it's once you find the right people in your life, you will soften. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things that I've seen with myself and my own development is that you can go from this hard exterior to something that is just beautiful and vulnerable and feels safe, because you can be soft but not feel safe there. But I'm in a place where I am soft and I feel safe, which is awesome. So if there was a way that I could wish that on everybody, I would, because it is pretty fantastic. So I think we'll leave it there. I hope that was helpful. Again, as I'm making these videos, I'm just sharing what's helping me and things that I'm thinking about, because parentification is hard, and I think it's one of those things that you don't really realize. You're like, oh wait, that was me, right? That was my, and for me, it's like I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. I'm like, oh no, I was just helping my mom. Like that's what you do. But realizing that so many different pieces of my personality and the way that I act and the things that I do are because of that, I think unpacking that has been really helpful for me. So I hope that's helpful for you. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I see you, and you deserve all the good things.